What up? What up? What up? What up? I'm back. Yeah, you couldn't get rid of me that soon. Anybody who knows me know that I'm an opinionated SOB, and I got a lot to say. I would be remiss if I didn't mention today there's some sad news, and I can't let this day go by without reporting some very, very sad news. I'm talking about the death of a prince, you know, um, April 9th. Death of a prince. And for me, this will be a day I'll remember because my brother's birthday is on April the 10th. Anybody who actually knows me, everything about my personality comes from two of my brothers. One of my brothers' name is Paul, another of my brother's name is Al. Paul was the thug, the gangster. His birthday is April the 10th. So this is always a very sad time of year for me anyway, especially for my mom as well, because on April the 10th, my brain always goes to remembering about my brother Paul, another birthday. Everything I am about my personality, half of it comes from Paul, half of it comes from Al. But we're talking about April 9th. And so right before the melancholy state that I was going to be in tomorrow, we had a death today of a prince. Now, you guys might think I'm talking about Prince Philip. I am not. I am damn sure not talking about no Prince Philip. This morning, my dandruff was all up in a tizzy because as I'm going through my morning ritual, getting my news stories, watching Good Morning America, CBS this morning, and Today Show, I'm flipping through and national news all over the place about the death of Prince Philip. And so, for some of you who may not know what I'm talking about, this is the old guy that basically, has been at Queen Elizabeth's side for, I guess, however many years. And so, just give you a snippet of what I woke up to this morning.
This morning, the death of Prince Philip. The husband of Queen Elizabeth passed away at the age of 99 after a series of health issues. Amy Robach is here with more on his royal legacy. Good morning, Amy.
Hey, good morning, Michael.
So we're talking about the royal
family.
family.
The death announcement carried out to the gates of Buckingham Palace. Philip and Elizabeth were married nearly 74 years, making him the longest-serving spouse of a British monarch in history. The Duke of Edinburgh retired from royal duties back in 2017, but here is much more on the beloved figure.
For over 73 years, he stood by his queen's side, her most loyal and faithful subject. Prince Philip of Greece was an 18-year-old cadet in the British Royal Navy when a 13-year-old Princess Elizabeth first took a shine to him back in 1939.
Alexander Mary.
The two were married in November of 1947.
I'm going to stop it right there, folks. I don't really have to go much further than that, to be honest with you. I've managed to compose myself from where I was this morning enough to say this. The death of any person is always a little bit sad. So I'm sure for his family, there's a great deal of sadness, and my hearts and prayers and thoughts do go out for them. He lived to be 99 years old. By all accounts, lived a fantastic life, and that's great. My problem was, well, why the hell was this national news? Here in America, we're so enamored and in love with the royals, but we don't give a damn about the common citizens, and so we're all caught up in this Prince Philip, and he's literally famous for being the husband to the queen, married for 74 years and required to walk 4 steps behind her. There's so much preposterous nonsense about this whole monarchy thing, but that's just me as an American saying that. I don't get it. I don't get the love affair with all of them. Prince Philip, the Duchess of this and the Duchess of that, and the Duke of this and Duke of that. This is fairy tale games and shit to me, because in the real world, most of us aren't born with silver spoons in our mouth. We don't get to live off the entire country's dowry just because we're born into a certain lineage. And so here in America, where we got real problems, where I got to worry about how I'm going to pay my rent and shit, I don't give two flat whats about Prince Philip. The Prince that I'm referring to that passed today at the age of 50, that's the Prince right here in America that made contributions to my life, society as a whole. I'm talking about the beloved DMX. So that's who I want to share a little bit with you about. So this is the Prince that I want to take just a couple of few moments and actually share my screen with you and honor him, because this is somebody that for me, hey, this is who I want
Earl
to
Simmons,
use April
best known
9th.
as DMX, was a Grammy-nominated rapper. His distinctive and raspy voice propelled him to the top of music charts through the late 90s and early 2000s.
Shut them down, open
He was
up
the leader
shop.
of the popular group, the Rough
Whoa,
Riders, known for their
whoa.
affinity of motorcycles,
That's how Rough
music,
Riders
and
roll.
dogs. DMX was the first and only rapper to have his first 5 albums consecutively debut
Put some
at
respect
#1
on that
Billboard.
man. Put some
But his
respect on
successful
that
music
man's
career
name.
was riddled with arrests and drug abuse.
That's true.
Stemming from what
And that's
he
what
says
makes
was
him
a
be
childhood
loved.
of abuse and betrayal. Born in Mount Vernon, New York in 1970, DMX and his family moved to Yonkers for more affordable housing when he was a child. Trouble started early. He spent much of his youth in and out of group.
I'm gonna stop it there. You guys know the story. Y'all know who DMX is. You know who X is. And yes, this was a troubled spirit, a troubled soul, multiple arrests, bouts with drug addiction, 15 kids. But this is shit we can relate to. That's the Prince that I can relate to. Grew up in Mount Vernon, New York, come from the streets, and put his stamp on the world. Rapper, actor, activist. He did it. Put some respect on that man's name. And so for me, when I think of April 9th, I'm not thinking about some 99-year-old guy in another country that's famous for just being somebody's husband. I'm thinking about X, that for me, that will forever be tied with the time of mourning, because now, for me in perpetuity, DMX on April 9th, my brother on April 10th, and they'll be connected forever, in my memories. And DMX is from the streets. He brought it hard, gutter-like, talked real talk. And that I respect, that I love. He was not a perfect soul. None of us are. And he's endeared to us because of that, because he spoke the truth. He lived the truth. He lived out all his flaws out for all of us to see. This is a man who struggled with addiction, and my 2 brothers I speak about, they struggle with addiction and succumb to it. So this is something that I can relate to. So when I think of the death of a Prince, I'm talking about DMX, not somebody else. Love, peace, and prayers to DMX family. God bless y'all.